Welcome to Hidden Lives, where every life holds a story, and every story holds a lesson.
He was imprisoned in body, but never in spirit. His courage became a bridge between pain and peace.
Today, I'm going to share with you the inspiring story of Nelson Mandela. Please stay with me until the end.
Section 1. Nelson Mandela, the child who dreamed of freedom. In the rolling hills of Qunu, a small village in South Africa, the 1910s unfolded with a quiet tension. The seeds of racial division were being sown, and traditions of the Thembu tribe shaped the rhythm of daily life. It was a world where a child's imagination had to navigate the constraints of an unequal society, yet nature offered a sanctuary of dreams. Nelson Mandela was born into this landscape of contradictions, a land of beauty and hardship. From a young age, he wandered the grassy plains and sparkling streams, his mind alive with stories and questions. Every tree seemed to whisper possibilities. Every path promised adventure. He was, by all appearances, an ordinary child, yet his heart carried the spark of something extraordinary. At the age of 9, Nelson's world shifted in a single devastating moment: the death of his father. The boy who had laughed under the African sun, who had dreamed by the fireside, now faced silence. A child's world can change forever in a day, and Mandela learned early that life was a fragile, precious thing, filled with both loss and hope. His father had been a local chief, a man of respect and quiet authority. From him, young Nelson inherited the first lessons of leadership and justice values that would later guide a nation. Even in grief, the echoes of his father's teachings lingered, planting seeds that would grow into resilience, courage, and an unyielding sense of right and wrong. In an unexpected turn of fate, Mandela was placed under the guardianship of the Thembu king. This transition was more than a change in household. It was the opening of a door to a world of possibilities. Here, the boy would learn the art of diplomacy, the weight of responsibility, and the power of dreams that refuse to be silenced. Section 2. From Student to Rebel. As Mandela grew, so did his thirst for knowledge. At Healdtown, the Methodist mission school, he discovered that education could be a key to freedom, a doorway to a world beyond the restrictions of his village. Each lesson was more than arithmetic or history. It was a spark, a promise that the mind could soar even when the body remained bound by society's chains. His time at Fort Hare University deepened both his intellect and his consciousness. Here, the first whispers of apartheid became impossible to ignore. He saw classmates separated by race, opportunities denied because of skin color, and rules that whispered the cruel message: you are born unequal. For Mandela, each injustice was a lesson, a call to awaken, to resist, to imagine a different world. Yet awareness brought danger. The first threat of arrest came as whispers in the corridors of the university. Rules broken, boundaries tested. Mandela found himself at odds with the authorities. Expelled from Fort Hare, he fled to Johannesburg, carrying little more than hope, determination, and the belief that education was just the first step in a larger fight for justice. In the bustling streets of Johannesburg, Mandela confronted a society divided by skin and status. He witnessed the daily indignities inflicted on Black South Africans, the invisible chains of past laws, and the constant surveillance that reminded every citizen of their place. It was a country teaching its people, from childhood, that they were not equal, but Mandela's heart rejected this lesson. It was in this charged environment that Mandela encountered the African National Congress, the political movement that would define his life. Through meetings, speeches, and clandestine gatherings, he learned that resistance was not only possible but necessary. Political consciousness awakened, his boyhood dreams of justice and freedom began to take shape in real, tangible action. But even as his political understanding deepened, Mandela faced personal struggles. Love and family obligations pulled at him, reminding him that freedom was not only a public ideal, but also a private responsibility. The heart's desires clashed with the call of conscience, forcing him to navigate the delicate balance between personal life and the fight for a nation's liberation. From a student who once sat quietly in a classroom, Mandela was becoming a rebel whose mind and spirit could not be contained. Every injustice he witnessed, every law designed to oppress, was fueling a fire that would eventually ignite a movement. The boy who had dreamed by the fireside in Qunu had become a young man determined to reshape the destiny of his people. Section 3. The Fire of Resistance. By the 1950s, South Africa was a nation gripped by fear and law. Apartheid had solidified into rigid structures, codifying inequality in every aspect of life, from schools and neighborhoods to jobs and voting rights. Mandela watched as his people were systematically stripped of dignity, and he realized that words alone could no longer challenge the chains of oppression. Peaceful protests had been the first weapon of resistance. Marches, petitions, and speeches filled with moral conviction challenged the government, but the response was violent and unyielding. Mandela realized that to confront an entrenched system of injustice, more daring measures were necessary. The transition from peaceful defiance to strategic resistance marked a turning point in his journey. In 1961, Mandela co-founded umkhonto sizwe, Spear of the Nation, a movement committed to sabotage against the apartheid regime. It was not violence for its own sake, but a calculated, disciplined response to decades of oppression. Each act of sabotage was planned meticulously, aimed at symbols of power while avoiding civilian harm wherever possible. Yet the risks were enormous. Mandela faced charges of sabotage and conspiracy, culminating in the Rivonia trial, a courtroom that would decide not only his fate, but symbolize the struggle of an entire people. Standing in the dock, he declared with unwavering courage, "I have cherished the ideal of a democratic and free society. I am prepared to die for it." The sentence was life in prison, a world apart from freedom, yet fertile ground for resilience. As Mandela entered the prison gates, chains clinking, the Atlantic winds whispering through the bars, a quiet transformation began. Behind these walls, the fire of resistance did not diminish. It burned silently, fueled by the hope that freedom, though delayed, was inevitable. In the silent hours, Mandela reflected on the journey from a pastoral childhood in Qunu to a rebel standing against the might of an entire system. Every sacrifice, every danger faced, every dream postponed was now a testament to the unbreakable spirit of a man who would one day change the course of history. Section 4. The Prison Years. The long walk begins. In 1964, Mandela began the long walk to Robben Island, a prison that would confine him for 27 years. The island's walls were stark, the labor relentless. Day after day, he toiled in the limestone quarries under a blazing sun, wearing the same dull uniform as his fellow prisoners. Yet even here, in the monotony and hardship, Mandela found lessons in resilience and the quiet power of endurance. Books became windows to the world beyond the prison walls. Mandela read widely, from history and law to philosophy, drawing strength and knowledge from each page. Education, once again, proved to be a form of liberation. Even in confinement, the mind could remain free, and every idea was a spark of hope in the darkness. Mandela did not only seek knowledge for himself. He became a teacher to his fellow prisoners, sharing lessons and fostering a culture of solidarity. In the cramped cells, amid hardship and deprivation, a community emerged, one where dignity was defended, courage was nurtured, and the spirit of resistance remained alive. Yet prison life came with profound personal costs. Years passed without seeing his children grow, without the embrace of his family. Loneliness was constant, yet Mandela discovered that hope could endure even in absence. Each letter, each memory, became a bridge to a life beyond these walls, a reminder that freedom was not only physical, but also moral and spiritual. Through adversity, Mandela's belief in human dignity only grew stronger. Even in the confines of a cell, he demonstrated that a man could remain honorable, compassionate, and principled. Forgiveness became his weapon, not resentment, not hatred, but hope. The ability to forgive would later define his leadership and the very soul of the nation he sought to free. The prison years were not merely a sentence, they were a crucible. Mandela emerged from them tempered like steel, carrying with him the wisdom, patience, and unshakable hope that would light the path to freedom for millions. Robben Island was meant to break him, but instead, it became the forge where a leader was made. Section 5. The Man Who United a Nation. In 1990, after 27 long years behind bars, Nelson Mandela walked free from Victor Verster prison. The world watched as a man who had endured decades of imprisonment embraced freedom, not with bitterness, but with grace. His journey from prisoner to president was a testament to resilience, hope, and the unyielding power of the human spirit. 4 years later, in 1994, Mandela became South Africa's first black president. His election was not just a political victory, it was a symbol of a nation's rebirth, a triumph over centuries of division. Every handshake, every speech, and every act of governance carried the weight of reconciliation and the promise of a new beginning. Mandela established the Truth and Reconciliation Commission, teaching the world that forgiveness is not forgetting, but building. To forgive is not to erase the past, he explained. It is to construct a future. This philosophy, simple yet profound, became the moral compass not just for South Africa, but for global leaders seeking to heal divided societies. Even on the global stage, Mandela's humility and patience inspired leaders and citizens alike. He demonstrated that true power lies not in domination, but in understanding, not in vengeance, but in mercy, not in fear, but in hope. His life became a living lesson in the transformative potential of patience, tolerance, and moral courage. In his final years, Mandela often walked along the coastline, gazing at the horizon, a gentle smile on his face. The ocean's vastness mirrored the expanse of his journey from a small village boy, dreaming under African skies to a global icon of freedom. Each wave seemed to echo the enduring truth he had lived. That one life, devoted to justice and reconciliation, can change the world. He lost his father, but he became the father of a nation. Nelson Mandela's life reminds us that the human spirit, when guided by courage, compassion, and conviction, can overcome even the darkest chains and illuminate the path to freedom for generations to come. Summary. Nelson Mandela's life was a journey through the extremes of human experience. From a quiet village boy in Qunu, dreaming under the African skies, to a young student awakening to injustice, he traversed landscapes of hope and despair. Every challenge he faced loss, imprisonment, exile was met with courage, a vision that the chains of today could become the wings of tomorrow. He taught us that education is more than knowledge, it is liberation. Even in the harshest conditions, Mandela read, learned, and shared his wisdom. Behind prison walls, he built classrooms of hope, reminding us that the human mind and spirit can never be fully confined. Every lesson, every conversation, became a seed of resilience that would bloom long after the gates closed. Mandela's courage showed us that resistance is not merely action, it is principle. He faced oppression without surrendering his humanity, without letting anger define him. By choosing forgiveness over vengeance and hope over despair, he demonstrated that true strength comes from the heart. Leadership, he proved, is not about domination, but about lifting others, uniting differences, and creating a future worth believing in. His journey reminds us that a single life, guided by vision and values, can change a nation and inspire the world. From the hardships of Robben Island to the triumph of a democratic South Africa, Mandela embodied the idea that no obstacle is insurmountable when determination and hope align. Every act of kindness, every gesture of reconciliation became a thread in the fabric of a new, united society. We can carry his legacy forward in our own lives. Mandela teaches us that courage is not the absence of fear, but the mastery of it. That hope is not a passive dream, but an active choice. That the smallest actions, grounded in justice and compassion, can ripple across generations. In honoring his life, we are reminded that each of us has the power to stand for what is right, to lift others, and to turn even the darkest moments into opportunities for growth and change. Nelson Mandela's story is a beacon for humanity. From loss to leadership, from imprisonment to presidency, his life shows that the human spirit is resilient, the heart is boundless, and the dreams we dare to pursue can reshape the world. Let us walk forward with courage, compassion, and unwavering hope, carrying the torch of justice and unity for all.
Some stories never die because they live within us. Subscribe, like, and share to turn stories into hope.